In the summer of 1929, Georgia O'Keeffe, an American artist widely regarded as one of the most significant artists of the 20th century, embarked on a journey to northern New Mexico. The desert was a stark and relieving contrast from her home in New York City. This trip began her fascination with the region's unique landscape, culture, and people. Since that first trip, in 29, she visited New Mexico almost annually, staying there for months at a time, and drawing inspiration from the stunning desert scenery. Georgia O'Keeffe was known as an independent and solitary person who enjoyed exploring the natural world. She went on many backpack trips through the rugged mountains and deserts of New Mexico, and she loved traversing the landscape in her Ford Model A, which she had bought and learned to drive in 1929. On one of these trips, she completed her famous work, The Lawrence Tree, when visiting her novelist friend at the D.H. Lawrence Ranch. The tree sat beside his cabin and was seen as a guardian angel. Her time here also inspired her to paint the San Francisco de Asís Mission Church in Rancho de Taos from a unique perspective. O'Keeffe often expressed her affection for Ghost Ranch in northern New Mexico. In 1943, she explained her fondness for the place by saying, "Such a beautiful, untouched, lonely-feeling place. Such a fine part of what I call the faraway." The striking landscape and the cultures of the Native American and Hispanic people inspired a new direction in her art. Consequently, she spent most of her summers living and working in New Mexico for the next 2 decades. Then, in 1949, she finally settled in the state permanently, 3 years after her husband Alfred Stieglitz's death. O'Keeffe's desert oasis lies at 12 Palvadera Road, Abiquiu, New Mexico. The structure, parts of which date back to the 1730s, was in a dilapidated condition when Georgia O'Keeffe first saw it in the 1930s. The house blends Native American and Spanish colonial architectural styles. She said, "When I first saw the Abiquiu House, it was a ruin, with an adobe wall around the garden, broken in a couple of places by falling trees. As I climbed and walked about the ruin, I found a patio with a very pretty well house and bucket to draw up water. It was a good-sized patio with a long wall with a door on one side. That wall, with a door in it, was something I had to have." The Roman Catholic Church owned the property and was not motivated to give it up. However, they eventually agreed to sell it to O'Keeffe in 1945. She collaborated with her friend Maria Chabot to modernize and rehabilitate the house, completing the work in 1949. She began creating art from the minimal architectural forms of her Abiquiu house, painting the forms over and over again, particularly the patio wall and door because they were features she was obsessed with. The house boasts several modernist features such as skylights and large picture windows. These offer breathtaking views of the surrounding landscape and bring natural light into traditionally dimly lit areas in such houses. O'Keeffe was adamant about incorporating these deviations from the traditional form, stating in an interview, "I didn't want a Spanish house, I didn't want an Indian house, or a Mexican house, I wanted my house." One of Georgia O'Keeffe's most famous paintings, created during her time at her Abiquiu home, is Pedernal, 1941. This painting captures the essence of Pedernal Mountain, a prominent landmark visible from her property. Legend has it that O'Keeffe was drawn to the Pedernal Mountain's distinctive shape and its spiritual significance to the Native American cultures of the region. She painted it repeatedly, often from different angles and perspectives, seeking to capture its timeless beauty and symbolic power. Pedernal 1941 is a striking example of O'Keeffe's ability to distill the essence of the natural world into abstract forms and vibrant colors. It is said that O'Keeffe developed a deeply personal connection to the mountain, viewing it as a source of inspiration and a metaphor for her own artistic journey. According to O'Keeffe's biographers, she once said that if she could paint the Pedernal Mountain enough times, it would become her own. This statement reflects her deep attachment to the landscape and her belief in the transformative power of art. Another fascinating painting by O'Keeffe during her time at her Abiquiu home is Black Mesa Landscape, New Mexico / Outback of Marie's 2, completed in 1930. The title references Marie's, a nearby store where O'Keeffe often bought supplies and interacted with locals. O'Keeffe was known for her solitary nature and ability to find inspiration in the desolate beauty of the desert. It seems the desert resonated with her personality. The Black Mesa painting exemplifies her deep connection to the land and her ability to convey beauty in its ruggedness. She captured that beauty in this painting by using sweeping lines and geometric shapes to show the vastness and peace of the New Mexico landscape. She also used bold colors and abstract forms to make the painting more dynamic and energetic. Ram's Head, White Hollyhock, and Little Hills was completed in 1935. This painting captures her fascination with nature, turning ordinary objects into objects of wonder. O'Keeffe was captivated by the ram's head she found on her Abiquiu property. She was drawn to its intricate form and how it contrasted with the delicate white hollyhock flowers that grew nearby. Same as with the ram's head and Blue Morning Glory painting, the ram's head is depicted with reverence, with its powerful horns and serene expression. The white hollyhock flowers provide a sense of delicacy and grace. In the 1950s, she recreated an earlier work, Pelvis 4. It was part of a series that focused on the pelvic bones of different animals. In Pelvis 4, she presented the pelvic bone as a subject of natural beauty and symbolic importance. O'Keeffe used her signature style of magnified and simplified forms to create an abstract interpretation of the pelvic bone. By isolating and enlarging the bone, she transformed it into a sculptural object beyond its anatomical origins. The contrast between the shape of the bone and the background emphasized its curves and contours, creating a sense of mystery. Through Pelvis 4, O'Keeffe encouraged viewers to consider the inherent beauty and symbolism of the human body and explore themes of life, death, and the cycle of nature. The painting demonstrated her ability to make ordinary objects appear extraordinary, inviting viewers to see the world in a new and transformative way. It's a testament to O'Keeffe's ability to find inspiration in the most unexpected places. O'Keeffe lived at the Abiquiu House until 1984. 2 years before her death at the age of 98. When she passed, her wishes were honored to be cremated and have her ashes spread across the lands surrounding the Ghost Ranch and her beloved Pedernal Mountain. Then, in 1989, the Georgia O'Keeffe Foundation became the owner and manager of the property, which is now owned and managed by the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum. It was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1998 and is open to the public. If you have visited the Abiquiu House, I'd love to hear what impression it left on you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider a like and subscribe for more art-related content. And until next time, I hope you go look at some art.